Takes the snap, short drop, hits the quarterback.
A absolutely miserable pick'em week, and on the brighter side, it's playoff time. Welcome to episode 5.11. After the whistle, gentlemen, how was your week? Mine was fine.
Great. Wasn't terrible by me.
Yours was horrible. Horrible.
Well,
Between the three of us, we were terrible. Okay.
I had to try to play catch up on some.
Well,
Some of them I knew was.
Well, I didn't know half of Gate City's team was out.
Well, I didn't either, but man, I tell you what, I mean, this was terrible.
You beat Gate City. Hold on. What did I say last week? I said Ridgeview big.
Yeah, but you didn't know that 13 kids was out from Gate City sick.
I will say
Ridgeview big.
I will say your picks were better than ours, but not much. But we were all sucked last week. All right, well, let's get straight to it. Weekly recap. Buchanan Therapy Services, located in the Grundy Plaza, brings this segment each week, and we're going to talk about last week's games. According to us, we expected outcomes that we didn't get. We're going to start here with this one. This was a really good football game. Abingdon 21, Lee 20. You did. You picked Abingdon in that one. 2-point conversion attempt by the Generals failed with 1:34. I like that. Coach Carroll on the road. Minute and a half left in the ball game. Scores touchdown. Decides to go for the win. Came up just a little bit short. Pendergraft.
I thought it was a good call.
Yeah, I think it was too. Pendergraft, 16 of 25, 185 yards, 3 touchdowns for Lee. Lee finishes regular season 6-4. They're in the playoffs. Abingdon 5-5. Alex Hawkins had 153 yards rushing for the Falcons, who will be sitting home for the playoffs, I think.
No, they got somebody.
They get a spot.
I think they're in. Yeah.
Yeah, they play Christiansburg.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, nonetheless, gutsy game, gutsy call by Coach Carroll on the road, but at the same time, I don't blame him for doing it. 6-4. It's a pretty good record for Lee. Much improved football program. Patrick Henry, 56, Northwood nothing. PH locks up the Hogo title there in convincing fashion. Patrick Henry scored all 56 points first half, 547 yards of offense. Holston, 34, Chilhowie, 17. Noah Tweed, 3 touchdowns for Holston. Warriors finished the season 0-10, but they were game. The score was 28-14 at halftime. Just weren't able to put anything consistent together in the second half. Tough year for Chilhowie. I'm sure they'll bounce back and recover. Twin Springs, 28, Rye Cove, 12. The Scott County Super Bowl took place, and this was a little bit of a shocker here, fellas. Ryan Horn had 304 yards rushing, 35 carries, 4 touchdowns for Twin Springs, and this was a 14-12 halftime game. Twin Springs came out, pretty much dominated the second half. What are y'all's thoughts on this one?
Well, that put them to number 2.
A lot of points were available there.
Yeah. Did we pick Rocco?
I'll have to go back and look here in a minute.
I did.
I know we did.
Somebody-
Across the board we did. Across the board.
We was wrong.
Yeah.
So that was a big win there for Twin Springs. And Twin Springs quietly has crept into that number 2 spot. That win right there had a lot to do with it. A lot of points were on the line. Honaker 27, Fort Chiswell 16. Peyton Music.
Hottest team in football, boys.
13 of 26, 134 yards there. Passing Honaker with another win, moving them into the playoffs with some momentum. J.I. Burton 51, Tom Walker 6, Braden Dutton 5 touchdowns for the Raiders. Raiders, Rye Cove, and Twin Springs, a 3-way tie for the Cumberland District title. And J.I. Burton did not make the playoffs despite the win there. East Side 55, Castlewood 38. Two teams finished the season 1-9. East Side got their first win of the year, boys, and one of you called this one.
I did. I got it.
It wasn't
I
me.
don't see how I've been
I
so
took Castlewood.
terrible. I've won every game.
So far, Luke Trent had 125 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns for Spartans. They finished the season 1-9. They got that elusive win right before the season ended. Blue Devils dropped 9 straight after that opening season win. Tough year for both of these teams. I imagine
Castlewood's had a lot of injuries too.
Yeah, I think they'll come back. You'll see. Give them some opportunity to get some stuff done in the off season and get back to work. Wise, boy, this was a kind of a shocker. Wise 41, Grundy 8.
Now hold on, shocker. Did you say shocker?
Shock. The outcome of the game, the way it was, I would call it a shock.
Wow, we picked them.
It's not about who we pick; it's how they won.
Listen, I did pick Grundy, but you got to support your local teams. All right, now listen, hold on.
Okay.
What did I say though at the beginning of the show? The Mountain 7
It's different.
is a different animal.
Yep.
So
Here's what I see. Is 2A that much better than 1A?
probably right now.
You got the number 1 team in the region facing the number 9 seed of 2A.
Who then? They're the 8th seed now. They're going to grand.
I know, but they were number 9 at the time and won by 40. Is football that big of a difference in 2A? So
Sometimes
from 2A
it
to
is.
from
Sometimes
2A to 3A, is that big of a difference?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but it may be this year. But you got to look at what's Wise in the Mountain 7, 1-5.
Yeah.
They're 1-5 in the Mountain 7. So, but you know they've lost every game by 7 points, so
That's
they're
right.
right there.
But
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Is football that much better in 2A than it is 1A?
I don't know.
Maybe this year.
Maybe this
Maybe.
Well, Grundy scored first.
They did, but here's what
They took the whole first
Here's what I
quarter.
said when the Grundy was going down the field at 3 yards, 4 yards. I said, Wise is stopping the big play.
Yeah.
They will win this game because
And they
eventually
did.
they're going to get them behind the sticks.
And
And I
they
think
did.
that's what they did.
Oh yeah.
Well, Wise evidently did. Scored 41 unanswered points. Wise held a 327 to 194 edge on offense. And Alex Gent 3 touchdowns for the Warriors there. So
Wise is right there. I mean, you lose to Gate City by 7. They lost to Union by 7. They lose to Lee by 3. They lost to Abington by 1 or 7.
Super close,
It was all of them's been close.
And they might have had the lead in some of these. And
Yeah.
So they're just a step away.
But my question is it that much difference?
Probably, but
This year, maybe. I know it's not. I mean, you're talking about a 9 seed beating the number 1 seed. I mean, and it wasn't even close.
and the matchup is just, it's something about matchups too. But they picked on Grundy's defensive secondary, which was Wise
did.
exploited that, which is I thought they
Well,
and Wise can throw the ball a little bit. So
Well, it's another thing too. Wise, I'm not knocking Grundy, but most of the people that Wise see are not.
They run the
They're
football.
multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
They do a little bit more. Grundy is going to run the football regardless. And you take a good football team, they're going to be able to defend that.
right.
All right, so Wise 41, Grundy 8. Up next, Graham 47, Marion 13.
5th straight year they went 10-0.
Third
He
straight
triggered
year.
it. He triggered it a minute.
Third straight year.
That 5 sounds better.
Third-
Don't it? Palmer.
Marion had dropped 9 straight, but as a team that continued to get better as the season went. Tydres Clements, 2 touchdowns for G.
They don't care that you work there.
Well,
man.
I'm just talking about Coach Gee in there, just trying to give him some props.
He's a good one.
So Graham, as we expected, they held that 1 spot in our poll all year long, and here they are going in the playoffs at 1. Union 52, Battle 14, Union 444 yards of offense. A neat little story here. Senior Ryan Mix scored his first touchdown of his high school career in the 4th quarter for the Trojans. So I think he managed to reach the end zone there. 52-14 Union. Virginia High 52, Richlands 28.
All that come at the end, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, they had them 2 big touchdowns at the end there to kind of pull away, but this was a tough ball game all night
See,
long.
the big R still Grundy still ruined Big R's hopes.
How's that?
If Grundy would have won, Richlands would have been in.
Oh.
I don't think so. It come down to Richlands and Wise who won that game. Well, Grundy would have won.
That's what I mean.
So if they would beat Wise, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if Grundy would have beat Wise, but they didn't. They knocked Richlands out by losing.
Well,
Richlands, all they had to do is win too.
I know, that's right.
Flip these two games. Go back 5 years ago. Flip these two programs. Virginia High is a 2-8 team. Richlands is a 8-2 team or a 10-0 team. Roles reversed. This is 2 out of the last 3 years now. Richlands has missed the playoffs. Virginia High, big season last year, and then another big season this year.
That's off Coach Patterson. He's did a great job.
And the guys, the first time since 1999, 19 seasons or 20 games, I think somebody said. Maybe I'm mistaken on that, since they have actually beat Richlands.
Boy, that ain't that we beat Richlands 2 times in 1 year. I don't know what the big deal is about. 2 big games here. This one is this had a lot of playoff implications. Probably the bigger game in Southwest Virginia. 11-34 rural retreat. And put them to the house.
Sure did, but Pioneers are in the playoffs, and rural retreat's getting ready for wrestling and basketball. Lebanon trailed this game 20-3 at the half. Came back and won it. Our quarterback Reese had a 4th and 2 from the goal line, and he punched it in there in the 4th quarter, and that actually gave them that 10-point margin, that cushion they needed to win the ball game. But man, this was a heck of a game from everything that I've read and what I've heard people read on social media. This was a heck of a football game. Congratulations, Coach Darrell Taylor, his team making the playoffs, and been a tough road for rural retreat all year. They've lost 2 heartbreakers early in the season, a double overtime and overtime game, and it put them on the ropes, and they just weren't able to get it done. So I hate that for them. Well-coached football team, and it's been in my top 5 almost all year long. But
we just thought they'd crack it, keep cracking, and they just
weren't able to get it done. This one, guys, was somewhat of a shocker, but you mentioned something a minute ago, though. Ridgeview 41.
Shocker.
The score, 41-0.
What did I say?
41-0.
Yeah, but it
Ridgeview
wouldn't have
over
been
Gate
like
City.
that. I got the.
What did I say?
I found out the flu bug hit them hard.
I said Ridgeview big.
Yeah, whatever.
He did.
And boys, this Friday and Saturday, whatever games are playing, the flu bug's going to hit this weekend too. I hear out there that there's a lot of teams with 5, 6, 7, and 8 players sick. That's in the rumor mill.
That's why Pageant changed it to Saturday, unless he's trying to get them healed up or get them
Maybe.
better.
Well, Ryan Oakwin, guys, 246 yards passing.
Yeah, the
4
Beavers
touchdowns.
did it all Saturday, they say, or Friday. Didn't he run a punt back, run an interception, and
Well, I want to congratulate Ridgeview. That's their first outright Mountain 7 championship.
oh, they the champs?
Yep, Mountain 7 champs.
We not giving them no credit.
9-1.
Congratulations to the
Wolfpack.
But we did say they'll be playing Graham in the region finals.
We
Gates-
always said that.
Yeah.
Well, I need a hat tip to their defense too, because they held Gate City tonight.
I got it right here.
You got it? Good. All right. All right. Well, that takes it care of our weekly recap. Coming up now, we have our Peak Performer of the Week. Peak Performer of the Week brought to you by True Point Bank, located in Grundy, Virginia, and throughout Southwest Virginia. Stop by and check out the fine folks at True Point Bank. Our True Point Bank player, Peak Performer of the Week, is Mr. Braden Dutton of J.I. Burton Raiders. Braden had 5 touchdowns in the Raiders' win against Tom Walker. Congratulations to Mr. Braden Dutton. All right, up next we have our Who Said It? And last week our Who Said It winner was Mr. Alex Tabor. It makes him the first ever 5-time winner of our contest. Impressive. His name has been entered in 5 times. Rochelle Palmer's name has been entered in once. Haley Moore once. Michael Edwards 1 time. And Sharon Hurley. All of those names will be entered into our free pizza drawing. That's coming up here in just a couple of weeks. We'll have that drawing right here on the show. But today, we've got our Who Said It, and the way this works is Coach Krieger is going to give you a quote from a famous movie or maybe a famous person, and be the first person to put the answer on our Facebook page right below where we post episode 5.11. So, Coach, you ready?
I got it.
All right, so here we go.
This one might be an easy one. A lot of people knows it, but you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Pretty good one there. Do that again. I like that one.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
That's a good one. That's a good movie. All right, folks. Well, there you have it. There is our Who Said It. Be the first person to respond on our Facebook page at After the Whistle. All right. Now our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week. And this week, and as every week, we film our show here at BELLACINO'S in Grundy, Virginia. If you're ever in this area, please stop by and check out the fine food and service that they have here at BELLACINO'S. Whether it be pizza, grinders, or a nice salad, they've got you covered. Stop by and check them out. Tell them After the Whistle sent you too. All right, our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week this week is from Grundy High School. It's Mr. Wyatt Bush. And let's take a look at...
All right, guys, we're here with our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week, Mr. Wyatt Bush from Grundy High School. He had a great game over at Wise Central. No, it wasn't the outcome that the Golden Wave was looking for against the tough Wise Central team, but Mr. Bush led the team in tackles with 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 5 quarterback hurries, and even had 30 yards rushing for the Golden Wave. And well, talk a little bit about it. You know, I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted, but just talk a little bit about the game and some things that went on.
We went in there. We were a little draggy there at the start. We drove down. We got that first touchdown and that first 2-point. After that, I don't know what happened. I think we just lost focus on the game and stuff. But it happened, man. On the defense, I think we played a pretty good game. But offensively, we gotta get better for this next game.
Well, good thing, man. You know, things happen. You can turn this into a positive going into the playoffs. You know, Wise is a good 2A team, so you can turn this into a positive. And thing is, you draw Honaker first round, and Honaker is playing very well right now. And just talk about what you got to do to get this one.
We gotta shut down their new offense. They're running a few new things, but I think right now we got a pretty good chance. It's not going to be like the last time. We're not going to catch them in that 62 to 20.
Right.
But I think right now with what we're doing, I think we can shut them down.
Well, you know, the thing that's going on, I think may help you. I was given a lot of rain Friday, and they like to throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll help you out, but I think it's going to be a tough matchup, man. I just want to congratulate you on our Player of the Week. Appreciate you. That's pretty good.
All right, welcome back to the show. Congratulations to Wyatt Bush, Grundy High School, our BELLACINO'S Player of the Week. Okay, folks, each week at this time we attempt to stump the CRIG, and I have in my hand a hermetically sealed envelope that has been kept sealed in a bank vault, True Point Bank in Grundy, Virginia, for the last 7 days under watchful eye of armed security. It was delivered here just a few minutes ago by an armored truck. And I have not seen the contents of this envelope. Have you seen it?
I have not.
And the way this works is I am going to hold the envelope. He's going to tell me the answer to the question before we ever read the question. He's just that good. As a matter of fact, he's the only man alive that can eat Swiss cheese from the inside out. That's right, the CRIG himself. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, and the first envelope is here in my hand. Do you have the answer?
No idea.
You mean you don't have no idea? We finally stumped it.
No idea. That's the answer.
No idea.
No idea.
You mean no idea?
No idea.
All right. No idea. Final answer.
Final answer.
No idea. Let's see what the question is. Here we go. The question, what do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought we had him on that one. No idea, but he said no idea. Well, it does make sense. A no idea. I did see a 3-legged coyote while hunting this year.
Got his leg shot off, didn't he?
His leg shot off. All right. I have the second envelope here in my hand. And you have not seen the contents of this one either. You got the first one correct, but can you get the second one? The answer is what?
The answer is ointment.
Ointment?
Ointment. Ointment.
Like oink, like a pig.
Ointment. Ointment.
Oh, ointment. Can you say ointment?
Ointment.
Ointment.
Like
Ointment. Ointment.
okay, ointment like a pig. All right, ointment. Final answer.
Final answer.
And let's see what the question is. What does a pig put on dry skin?
Ointment.
Ointment. You ever put ointment on dry skin?
I have.
I put ointment on dry skin, but not ointment. But I imagine the
I
pig.
see, speaking of that, on skin and stuff, I watched something the other day. Cody says, I don't believe nothing unless it's on TikTok. So
Oh, yeah, it's on
it
TikTok.
was on there, and the doctor says that you shouldn't bathe every day. It said some people bathe 2 times a day.
Not you, right?
Nope. All these years I've been doing it right. 2 to 3 times a year. And one doctor don't use soap.
A year.
I mean a week. And one doctor said they don't use soap. Said it dries, said it opens them pores up, and that's where bacteria gets in.
That doesn't make sense, I suppose.
And the hotter you take the shower, the worse it opens up. It sheds that skin off there. And see, I thought that was good because when I took one shower a week, I usually hot one to scald it off.
I used to have an uncle. He took a bath once a year, whether he needed it or not. All right, folks. Well, this week we don't have to worry about our top 5 segment, but if we did, we would remind you that it is brought to you by the Wooden Horse Grill in Hurley, Virginia. Food so good, make your tongue want to slap your brains out. Right down the street from the place that used to have the meat, the Hurley Meat Market.
Boys, I'm telling you, you all know you can't beat their meat.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's go straight to our playoff prognostications. And our playoff prognostications brought to you by Buchanan General Hospital. All right, welcome back. Special episode here, playoff predictions. And fellas, usually each week, and like I said, last week we were absolutely horrific. Coach Tester, I was 6-6. Coach Tester was 7-5, and you were 5-7 overall. Coach Tester is sitting at 115-40 on the year. I am sitting at 115-40. Coach Tester is 109-43, needs a miracle. And Coach Krieger is 117-38. So despite that terrible production last week, you're still 2 ahead.
I won. It's over. Season's over.
No, we got playoffs. It's going to get much harder though. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. All right, Coach Tester, let's talk about the first round matchup here in 1A Region D. We got Honeacre 7-3, number 6 seed, playing at Grundy. These two teams have already met this year. Grundy's record very misleading at 5-4. Grundy's a 3 seed. Let's talk about that. Who you got?
That's a tough one, man. The one team that I didn't want to draw out of this was Homeacre.
That's right.
I think they're the hottest team in it right now, but it's at Grundy, given a lot of rain, which is in Grundy's favor. It just depends on if I think it depends on Homeacre's defense if they can stop Scammell. If they can get a couple big stops, it's kind of like Wise, keep them behind the sticks, and get some turnovers.
Well, even though Scammell's put up a lot of great numbers this year, it seems like it's been a little bit quiet here the last few weeks. But that's because Grundy's had more balance in their offense. I just don't see, with Isaiah.
They've been throwing it.
No, with Isaiah
Oh.
picking up some extra yardage and stuff. And I think Homeacre is peaking at the right time, but I just don't think that they can stop that. And
It
I
just
think
comes down to stopping. Grundy has,
can Homeacre do it?
no,
I don't think they can either.
not at Grundy and 100% chance of rain.
And if it wasn't for the 100% chance of rain, I would probably pick Homeacre, but I'm going to go with Grundy.
All right, so Grundy, we're calling Grundy to advance here in I agree across the board here with this one. All right, number 7, Lebanon at number 2, Twin Springs. Twin Springs 7-2. Lebanon is a 6-4 team. Lebanon coming off a big win against Rural Retreat. Twin Springs got that big win against Cove. This ought to be an exciting football game right here,
I
fellas.
think it's one of the best matchups, probably.
I'm going with the Pioneers. But
It's going to be tough to go
again,
into
with the rain,
see.
All right,
with the rain,
Twin
When they
Springs
win,
is
they
definitely
play.
going to run.
yes.
Twin Springs, Ryan Horn's going to pound the ball. They're going to run.
I just feel like a team that can throw the football right now has the edge.
Well,
But now
Lebanon-
Twin Springs could keep the ball from them.
This is a tough pick right here.
Is it played Friday? Or is it? I think it's Saturday, isn't it?
I'm not sure about when this game
It's
is.
Saturday.
So many games have been moved Saturday, according to Pistol.
Okay.
Uh,
If it's played Saturday, I'm going to go with Lebanon.
I think Lebanon's Tester's got.
It's supposed to rain Saturday too, according to Pistol.
I could
That
be
is
either way.
correct.
That's
Well, I
no-
mean, Lebanon's probably got the edge in the passing game. Twin Springs has more recently been in a situation like this than Lebanon has.
I think that, I mean, Twin Springs,
I think Twin Springs might be a little bit more physical.
Maybe.
and run the
but if you're
football.
throwing the football, I don't know.
This is a tough one. Who you got, Coach Krieger?
I'm going with Lebanon.
All right. Fellas, I'm going to.
The winner of that game plays the mighty way.
Well, the fact that the fact that Lebanon did so well against Rural Retreat, and I think
That's what I'm going by too.
is I'm going to go with Lebanon.
Or are we putting Roll Retreat up
Up there
there
too far?
far?
maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what we're doing. I don't know on that one, but we'll leave it at that. So we're going to Lebanon across the board. So far we're all.
It's going to be tough to go in the Nicholsville Bulls and
Well, if it's on a Saturday too, you know
That's
that
just a
plays
20-minute
back.
drive for Lebanon.
I know, but I'm just saying it's going to be tough.
All right, moving on down. Let's go to Holston Holston traveling to Rycove. Holston at the Cove. I think Holston is a better football team than I thought, and I think Twin Springs may have exposed Rycove.
It'll be a good game, but I think Holston will squeak it out. They've been here before, and it's a totally different thing. Not saying that Rycove can't win the game. I'm just picking Holston because of the senior athletes that they got.
Well, I'll probably go with Holston as well on this one. I mean, defend them back-to-back Region D champs. They're not going to go away. They've been in this big game situation. This is the first time Rycove has been in a situation like this in a pretty good while. They got a lot of youth. I think some of that youth was exposed in that big game the other night for them. And I think you're going to see a repeat of it this week, so I'm going to pick Holston also.
I've seen some film on Holston against Patrick Henry, and I was really impressed the way they played them. I think Holston, they get after you, and I was really impressed how physical they were. So, they got to go into the Cove. I think they go in and knock the Cove off.
All right, well, this is straight across the board once again. All three of us have Holston. All right, the final game in the bracket here, we've got number 8, Hurley, traveling to Patrick Henry. They're going to play at Emory Henry, is that correct?
Yep, and they moved the game to Saturday because they thought we was going to throw the football all night long. They knew we were going to throw it.
Yeah, you always going to throw the football.
Yeah.
Doesn't anybody? What do you think about this one? I don't care to chime in first on this one. I just think PH, I think it's their time. I think Hurley's a next year kind of team, not knocking Hurley or anything. I think if the Rebels had maybe gotten a lower seed, I would have called for an upset alert. But this situation that they're in right now, I think Hurley's going to be game, be very well prepared. And I think the final score of this game is not going to be a rout. I think Hurley's going to gain a lot of valuable experience, but I'm going to go with PH in this one. They've been one of the top teams all year.
I just need to know one thing. Are you all going to eat at Bonanza?
No.
If you do, it's a definite loss.
Yeah, if you was going to eat at Bonanza, I was going to Patrick Henry right off.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to take Patrick Henry.
Okay.
But it's going to be close. At halftime, don't be surprised if it ain't 14-8. 8-0 or something like that.
Well, I think her kids, I think their game to go into Patrick Henry and play. I think the key,
Oh, they're not going to be scared.
I think the key for us is we got to get some stops, and we can't let Patrick Henry have the big plays. You know, if they start breaking 50 yarders, 30 yarders, if we can make them 3 and 4 yarded, I think we can be in the game. And
if you all can put it in on the 20.
Quarter, so I know we got a tall task, but I'm going with the Rebels, the Hurley Rebels.
I was getting ready to say which one.
That'd be good.
All right, boys. That would have been good if we'd been ambiguous about that, and we never would have known.
We should have said nothing, just let it be.
All right, so any kind of you guys want to kind of look ahead a little bit and see what you might think is coming down the pipe on these games?
I still believe right now it's going to be Grundy playing at PH for the region championship.
And you know, they could come back to haunt Grundy when they could have very well been in that one
And
spot.
PH would have come to
Had
Grundy.
come to Grundy, yeah. Sure could. That's an important factor right there.
Well, we kind of said that from day one.
Well, I'm not going to knock Holston out of this yet. I think Holston could very well end up in the finals again. But we'll just have to wait and see. All right, let's move on to 2D. Right now we've got number 6 Lee versus number 3 Virginia High. Could be a really good football game right here.
I'm going with Lee High Bulls. I'm still riding Pendergraft's coattails throwing the ball.
I think Lehigh's done really well. I think they played really well. I think they've got some big wins this year. But I just think it's going to be. I think it's a tall task to go into Virginia High. Coach Patterson, I think he's going to have them ready, and I think Virginia High's offense is too explosive for them. I think I'm going with Virginia High.
Well, I tell you what,
It is going to rain when they play.
Oh yeah, we didn't factor all that in.
didn't factor in the rain, did we?
Well, Lehigh swings it through.
That's true.
But Lehigh's very balanced. They do both, but they're not a pass exclusive kind of football team. They are very well balanced. I tell you what, my analysis is I sit there and look. Lehigh 6-4, Virginia High sitting at 8-2, and I agree with both of you that going in there and playing at the Gene Malcolm Stadium, I think it'd be tough for Lehigh to do so. But I think strength of schedule is going to come into play here, playing in that Mountain 7, whereas Virginia High played so many 1A schools this year that I think Lehigh is definitely a tougher opponent for them than maybe what people think. And I'm going to go with the upset here and pick Lehigh. Coach Krieger?
I'm Lehigh.
Lehigh.
I'm going with Lee.
All right.
I'm riding them, boys. I've talked them up all year. I think they're going to get their first playoff win in a while.
All right, this is another, at least as far as athletically, a matchup. Tazewell travels to Ridgeview. Tazewell 7 seed, Ridgeview 2 seed. What do you guys think about that? Let's start with Krieger.
Who is it?
Tazewell and Ridgeview.
Oh, Ridgeview.
I think Tazewell's going to have the.
I think they're going to be game for a minute.
Yeah, I do too. I think they've got the athletes. I don't know if Ridgeview wants to get in a shootout with them, but I know Ridgeview can.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they want to, because I think it would just feed into Tazewell, keep giving them more momentum. But if they get Tazewell playing behind, and you know exactly what Tazewell's going to have to do if they play from behind, they'll be a little more predictable. Ridgeview will be able to control things better, but I'm going to Ridgeview in this one. I think key for Tazewell, if they want to win this ball game, is keep Oakland off the field, and their offense is a big play offense, and that's not going to keep Oakland off the field.
I think Tazewell's going to have them close at halftime. I think it's going to be a one-score game at halftime. I think Ridgeview's going to open it up in the second half. It'll be a big win.
All right, so Ridgeview across the board on that one. The only thing we've really differed on so far is the Virginia High game. All right, Union at Gate City. Boy, they're going back to the scene of the crime here. Union is, aren't they? Union 5 seed, Gate City a 4 seed hosting this game. We know what happened earlier this year. You expect anything different?
Yep. The Bears is going to take it. Going to go into Legion Field.
Think the Bears will take it.
Come out with a W, yes.
Coach Krieger?
I guess I'm going to go with the Bears. It looks like the stick bugs hit Gate City.
Well, I think Union. That loss, if the Gate City's loss to Ridgeview was due to other factors as well as Ridgeview playing well. That's pretty much a tough thing to just bounce back from. I think Ridgeview's going to have the revenge factor on their mind. And Ridgeview has been in this, Union has been in this situation the last few years. Gate City hasn't. And I think as a result of that, Union's going to go back in there and they're going to binge that loss. I'm going to pick Union. And then we've got our last game, our number 8 seed, Central Wise, going into Graham and playing. What are your thoughts on that?
Graham.
Man, hey, listen, I think Central plays them well for a quarter.
No.
For a quarter, they play them
Maybe.
well, but I'm gonna say Graham big.
All right, Graham big. All right, fellas, well, that's our picks. We got 8 this week, or 8 games, but these are the big ones. And do what, Coach?
No.
No, I thought you was wanting something out there.
I'm
real
sure
quick,
we didn't miss no.
Who do you think's going to come out of the Region C in 1A area? Who's going to be the team to
Galax.
that Galax?
I think George Wythe.
I think George Wythe too.
George Wythe beat Galax already.
I think
I agree. I'm just going with George Wythe.
Well, can Grayson after seeing both of them, Grayson's going to have to go through one of them to get to the other.
They possibly could, yeah.
I think George Wythe's team.
I'm going with. I'm not Greg. I think Galax Wythe, but I'm got a feeling that George Wythe must win.
All right. Well, there you have
Talk
it.
about hot seats.
Yeah.
Coach hot seats.
Let's do that.
No.
Let's do that.
No.
Yeah. Well, I did actually wanted to make a mention here. We was looking at this, and every year about this time, this comes out and this happens. You always see a little bit of people on the outside looking in, saying, "Well, ifs and buts."
Candies and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas.
That's fact. There's teams that aren't going to get in, and no matter how you work the system, but the VHSL's been using this rating system for a while, and I found it's been a pretty effective system. But there's some talk about maybe these 8 seeds. I'll look at Hurley as an example. People suggest, well, maybe Hurley shouldn't be in the playoffs here. And then you take a look at, you got teams that are 3-way tie in the Cumberland District. You got J.I. Burton, Rye Cove, and Twin Springs. Well, J.I. Burton sitting at the house.
Well, Hurley asked to be in the Cumberland. They said no. They don't want to play them. So don't give us that they could be in our playing. They petitioned to go to the Cumberland. Cumberland said no, you stay over there.
Here's the deal. We would love to play every team in the Cumberland. But, and we play some Cumberland teams, but a lot of them won't play us. But I understand nobody really probably wants to come to Hurley. But the only official fit for us to play schools around here is the Cumberland District, outside of our 2-team district now.
Right.
So, we play everybody that wants to play us in the Cumberland District. But then if we can't get games, we got to go in Howard and West Virginia or whatnot.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Hurley picks up a bunch of points off of Montcalm, but they, if they could have played somebody and Twin Valley's in the same situation. You've got other schools in the same situation, especially on this end of the state, whether it be basketball, football, or anything. We have to cross the border and play a lot of games out of state. Tom Walker's in a situation like that. They play under the same system that everybody else does, and when it comes right down to it, strength of schedule does matter, and you might play a team that's 7-0, 8-0. You beat them, you get the points, but you don't know what you're playing 9 out of 10 times you play those teams. Betsy Lane, Kentucky, is a pretty tough football team.
I'd put Betsy Lane or Tug Valley, West Virginia in the top of the company.
All right, so every year this stuff changes.
Yeah, and then you go like Homeacre going to the Hogaheaty next year. So Grundy was trying to go to Hogaheaty, they turned them down. Hurley's trying to go to the Cumberland, which is a perfect fit for Hurley.
Yeah.
But guess what? Everybody don't want to come to Hurley, and I understand that. But we'll go. That's where.
Hey, we'll travel. That's right.
Travel.
Buchanan County. We know people don't like to come to this area, not because they hate Hurley, not because they don't want to travel.
Yeah,
People don't want to travel, but we'll come to them. I mean, Buchanan County's always traveled to play.
But don't complain when we
That's
go
right.
an hour to West Virginia or Kentucky and play a team and win when nobody wants to play us.
True.
You know,
Well, we can look at
And
conference.
what happened, if I'm not wrong, did Ryco drop y'all?
they did.
All right, so there's another one. Now you're gonna have to go somewhere probably Mingo Central or somebody trying to find a game.
Bingo. No.
Well,
But I'm just saying, that's what you're gonna have,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, you take, all right.
But the Cumberland will be a perfect fit for Hurley.
It would be, yeah.
They're all
and Twin
kinda-
Valley.
Yeah, so.
Well, if you look at, all right, let's compare apples and oranges real quick before we close this out. Common opponents, let's take Burton. Did Burton play anybody that's on Hurley's schedule?
Rocco.
All right, who won?
Rocco beat us 26-24.
Okay, you know how bad, did Ryco beat Burton?
Yes.
I think 20-7 last week, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, it was.
Okay, it was more than 2 points. Okay, so all right, Burton played Grundy, you played Grundy. How bad did Grundy beat Burton?
Bad. 60, they 70.
They scored 60
They
points.
scored
68,
63, 68 or 70
68
points.
How many did, how was the game with Hurley? I know it's
42-18.
okay. All right,
I mean,
you can't do, you can't really.
But it's easy to sit back and say
Yeah,
they
that's what I'm
shouldn't be
saying.
in there. I
But
mean, a
what
lot
else-
of people.
Thomas
just-
Walker was another common opponent. We both won, but by a lot. So, I mean,
Well, but what I'm saying is, you could sit here and shave hairs
But you
all day
got-
long, but if you come right down to it, the rating system works pretty effectively.
Bulls, I think, Royal Retreat too was a tough one that didn't get in.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah, they
wouldn't
can sit
want
there.
to play them.
No, that's right. Well, come to find out, you could sit there and if Royal Retreat played Hurley, Ryco, or not Ryco, J.I. Burton and these teams, Ryco could easily, or Royal Retreat easily could win that game. So what's to say they should be in there? Look at the schedule they play. You can't go by that. But they make the things, you get the points, you get in.
And
One, I think they take too many anyway.
yeah, I agree.
Back in the
They should
day,
be
when
top
when
four.
Hurley would make it, Grundy would make it, they took 4 teams. It's just become a money racket.
Well, it's,
Well, they did. They put it at 16 one time, and that was awful.
yeah, well, we say, you look at, take a look at West Virginia and see what happens with that mess.
Oh, they did.
Well, they do the
Castlewood East
16
Side did
teams,
pick
you
us
get
up.
these- Well, that's 2 Cumberland
Okay.
teams there.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, we can sit here and argue this all day. I think the 8 teams are supposed to be in there, or the system. That's the system we have. It's the system we have to work within. And
Oh, well.
that's what we got. Next week, we'll have an abbreviated show. Won't be as long.
Well, I got one more
yeah.
thing. Did we get that red wave or no?
No, we did not. No, we did not get the red
Fixed
wave.
again, ain't it?
The red wave, boy.
We did not get the red wave. We got the red trickle.
Did we win anything?
Not much of nothing, West, I can tell. Not much of nothing.
Well, we got the house, didn't
Supposedly.
we? Today we did.
Supposedly, yeah. Supposedly.
They still send the boats in, buddy.
One guy got on there. This is why I said if we got the house. Somebody already said he already picked his speaker of the house.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Lord have mercy.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. You got anything?
Good.
All right. Until next time, I'm Coach Moore,
Coach Tester.
Coach Krieger.
reminding you that if your grandpa didn't vote 10 times, you ain't doing your part. Good night.